I stood there in the doorway of the motel bathroom in Flagstaff, Arizona, water dripping from my hair like the sparse rain we get in these parts, clutching my towel like it was the last shred of my dignity. Jessica looked up from my phone, her fingers still lingering on the screen as if she'd been caught red-handed in the cookie jar. Our eyes met, and she flashed that smile, the same one she'd used back in '92 when she blamed me for breaking her favorite necklace, telling Mom I'd done it out of jealousy. A chill ran through me. That gut instinct I'd honed from years of auditing accounts at Tucson financial advisors whispering that this wasn't just paranoia. Alex appeared in the hallway behind her, his sharp lawyer's eyes scanning the scene, jaw clenching just enough to betray his suspicion. "Everything all right?" he asked, glancing between us like he was already building a case in his head. "Of course," Jessica said, dropping my phone on the nightstand with a thud that made me flinch. "Well, sorry. Emily, you should hurry. The breakfast bar closes soon." I nodded, backing into the bathroom, but through the cracked door, I heard her boots clicking on the thin carpet, then Alex's low voice murmuring something I couldn't catch. Why did it feel like the walls were closing in, inside? My mind raced. Had I left my phone unlocked? Was that smile hiding something deeper, like the secrets we'd buried in our family for years? 3 hours later, we were checking out of that dusty Route 66 motel. My hands shook as I pulled up my banking app to confirm the charges. The balance hit me like a sandstorm. $1,300. I blinked, scrolled frantically. Last week, it was $10,500. My nest egg for a down payment on a little ranch house outside Sedona, built one cautious deposit at a time. "What's wrong?" Alex leaned in, his arm brushing mine. He scrolled through the history, and each entry felt like a knife twist. $3,000 to Jessica Hayes' card, $4,000 wired to her husband Ryan, $2,200 to Mom. No, I whispered to myself, the lobby blurring, the shower. My phone left vulnerable. Jessica's overly sweet grin. It all clicked, but my heart screamed denial. How could family do this? Alex steadied me as we sat in the lobby's worn chairs. "We need to handle this," he said, pulling out his notepad. But I couldn't wait. I dialed Mom right there in the parking lot, the Arizona sun beating down on rows of pickup trucks. She answered cheerfully. "Emily, darlin', how was the wedding?" Her voice, warm like fresh tortillas, twisted the knife.
"Mom."
I checked my account. A pause. Then her tone shifted to that casual drawl, like discussing the weather over coffee.
"Oh,
honey, we just evened things out. You've got plenty." And Colton's wedding drained us dry. The sun felt blinding now. Alex watched me, already jotting notes. "That's theft." "Elaine," I said, using her first name for the first time. It felt like severing a rope that had bound me too long. She laughed, sharp as a cactus spine. "Don't get all dramatic on me. We're family. Family." The word flooded me with memories. Dad dipping into my college savings for Jessica's big wedding bash. "You can get loans. Kiddo, your sister needs this dream day." Mom borrowing my first bonus for a family road trip to the Grand Canyon that I wasn't even invited on. "You're so smart with money. You'll bounce back quick." The cycle. Take. Downplay. Guilt trip. Repeat. It stretched back to childhood, making me question if I was the selfish one for ever saying no. I hung up without a word, Alex's hand in mine grounding me. "Turn around," I said, my voice steadier than I felt. "We're heading to my folks' place." The drive through the Red Rock Canyons felt eternal. Childhood landmarks flashing by, the old saguaro cacti along Highway 89, The faded billboards for Navajo jewelry stands, the basketball court where Colton honed his shots. We pulled up to their adobe ranch house in Prescott, with its manicured desert garden and fresh stucco. Through the window, I saw them around the kitchen table, Jessica laughing at Ryan's joke, Mom pouring coffee into her prized ceramic mugs, the ones for special times. They looked so content, like thieves counting their loot. "They're toasting their win," Alex murmured. My grip tightened on the door handle. "Not anymore." I burst into the kitchen, the smell of fresh coffee and chorizo hitting me like a mocking embrace from the past. The laughter died. Jessica's fork clattered. Ryan stared into his mug. Dad examined his half-eaten burrito like it held answers. "Emily," Mom said, her voice pitching up like at PTA meetings, standing with the coffee pot hovering. "What a surprise. Join us for breakfast." Alex stood behind me, notepad whispering as he opened it. "Tell them," I demanded, my throat raw. "Tell them what you did to my savings." Jessica lifted her chin, a dab of salsa on her lip. I fought the old urge to wipe it, like when we were kids sharing secrets under the stars. "Don't overreact. We just reallocated some funds that were sitting idle." "Reallocated?" The word burned like hot sand. "You mean stole? You live in that nice condo alone," she waved, her new silver bracelet glinting, probably bought with my cash. "We have kids, school fees, little league,
piano lessons,
college prep." Ryan chimed in, his fancy new belt buckle shining. "Your life's easy."
eminencia,
Single. Successful. We needed it more. Mom set the pot down. "You've always been tight-fisted, honey. Remember not pitching in for Aunt Maria's Vegas trip? She ended up in a cheap room." My eyes caught the new flat screen in the living room, blaring a shopping channel with jewelry ads, matching what dangled from Jessica's ears. Needed it more for what? That TV? Her bling? Ryan's upgrades? "The spa days were essential," Jessica said, touching her fresh highlights. "Stress from running a home." A phone rang. Mom's cell. Colton's face on screen. "Speaker," Dad grunted, his first words. Mom's hand shook as she hit it.
Mom.
"Bank called about weird transfers from M's account at the wedding." "What's up?" "Stay out of it," Jessica snapped. "The hell I will. M's been spotting me rent for grad school." "Tell me you didn't." Silence choked the room. Ryan fiddled with his buckle. Coffee stained the tablecloth. Dad slumped in his flannel shirt. "What's done is done," Dad said heavily. "No use fighting over cash," Mom added. "Family trumps everything. Let's move on. I made your favorite chorizo." The scent turned my stomach. How many times had she cooked it after taking from me? My college fund, my bonus, each theft sugared with family love. This isn't about money, I thought, the clarity hitting like a desert dawn. It's about them never seeing me as equal, just a wallet to raid. "This ends now," I said, turning. Alex's touch guided me out. Colton's voice echoed. "I'm flying in, we talk." On the porch, yucca plants swayed in the breeze, blooms straining toward the sun. Mom planted them the year I graduated. The same week she borrowed $2,000 for repairs that bought new patio furniture. In the car, Alex noted everything. The illusion shattered, the ideal family, loving sister, supportive parents, all facades, like a Hollywood Western set. My phone buzzed. "Jessica, hope you're satisfied." Mom's in tears. I powered it off, watching the house fade in the mirror, the yuccas still reaching, ignorant of the rot below. Back at our condo in Tucson that afternoon, the laptop's glow painted my desk blue as I scrolled through transactions, each one a fresh wound in my soul. Why hadn't I seen it? Alex hovered, his notepad filling with details as we traced the theft back. "Look, 2 years," he said softly. My gut twisted. $17,800 gone. Drip by drip. Like water eroding sandstone. The texts flooded back. Their manipulation glaring. "You're killing it." Not like us scraping by, Mom before needing tax help they'd always handled. "If you cared about your nephews, you'd give them chances like yours." Jessica guilting me over the kids' funds I'd started. "That's family. We got each other's backs," Dad before begging for Ryan's truck fix, which parked at the country club with a new membership. Alex pointed to timestamps. "See the rhythm? Holidays, birthdays, reunions, they timed it when no would make you the bad guy." "Planned," I whispered inwardly, recalling how requests hit when guilt peaked, turning me into the villain for protecting myself. Was I really selfish? Or had they wired me to think so? The doorbell jolted us. Through the peephole, Colton shifted, rumpled shirt hanging loose. I opened. He blurted, "I should have warned you. I overheard Jessica and Mom plotting at the wedding about your accounts. But I was scared." His voice broke, years of watching the pecking order. Too timid to bucket. He showed his phone, a hidden group chat. Screenshots from months back. Jessica's casual plots to hack my info.
Mom's timing tips.
Dad's emoji approvals. "They cut me out when I questioned it," Colton said, his words heavy with sidelined fear. Alex's friend, a financial lawyer named Laura, arrived soon, spreading precedents across the table, tales of shattered trusts. "This is straight theft," she said, citing statutes. "Premeditation ups the ante." But their blood. My mind protested, the old reflex kicking in. Alex squeezed my hand. "Would you let a stranger swipe $9,000? The question splashed cold reality. I'd been trained to swallow their abuse, believing their wants outweighed my boundaries. That refusing was betrayal. We documented for hours. Banks in order. Transfers timed to the motel. Texts showing years of schemes. Colton's affidavit notarized. My phone buzzed relentlessly. Dad's heart's acting up from this stress. Mom's health ploy. "What'll the neighbors say about you turning on kin?" Jessica's shame game. "You've always been the stubborn one." Emily, complicating everything. Dad's echo. I muted them, each ping fueling evidence. No more power in their words, the pattern exposed. It was just noise. Colton watched, awe dawning. "I've never seen you like this." In the window's reflection, I saw myself anew, stronger, unbound. As dusk fell, our table became a command center. Alex's notes built statements. Colton's prints damned them. My records spoke truth without emotion. A text from Ryan. "You'll rue this, family over funds." Added to the file. Unflinching. This transcended money. It was escaping their cage. Forged from duty and nailed with guilt. My hand paused over the complaint form. Pen heavy with finality. "Alex, no ruse." But delay meant they still owned me. I signed steadily. Each stroke freedom.
"Now,"
Colton asked, voice firmer. "Now we redefine family." 3 days on. In Phoenix's Financial Crimes Unit, Detective Maria Lopez reviewed motel footage. Eyes sharp. "Watch her," checks halls before entry. My stomach knotted seeing Jessica slip in, emerging with my phone tucked away. "Bank logs match the IP," Alex noted. Lopez nodded. Classic family exploitation. They bank on silence from shame. Victim. The label stung. I'd crunch numbers for others. How missed in my own life. "Notifications go out today," Lopez said. Envelopes sealed with names. Jessica Hayes. Ryan Hayes. Elaine Hayes. George Hayes. My kin. Soon suspects. Hours later, my phone exploded. Mom, how dare you after all we've sacrificed? Dad via Colton. Your mom's heartbroken, fix it. Office calls started mid-meeting. Assistant's note. Jessica. Emergency. I ignored. Focusing on projections. Numbers don't gaslight. At Alex's firm. Ryan called. Stay out? Lawyer man. Keep it private. Alex recorded. Threat noted.
Click.
I stayed silent.
Login contact.
Laura's notebook grew. Voicemails. Texts. Emails. Wednesday. Jessica threatening to spill my college anxiety to my boss. Thursday. Mom blaming Dad's pressure on me. Friday. Ryan accusing jealousy. Colton showed up with more screenshots. Years of plots. Em swamped at work. Skips daily checks. Hit post bonus, Guilt City. I got her pass. Same everywhere. Throat tight. I scrolled their dissection of me. Like teaching me finances only to exploit. Lopez filed them. They justify entitlement. Normalize theft step by step. She asked, what flipped you? That motel chill. They stole my no. My respect said I deserve none. Share anonymously, she suggested. Victims need hope. Thinking of young me. Flinching at family calls' hidden costs. I agreed. Silence empowers them. Time to speak. The Sunday paper ran it. When kin ties turn toxic, family financial traps. My tale. Veiled but raw. The creep. Manipulation. Betrayal. A text. Thanks for voicing mine. I felt alone. Saved it as Lopez prepped restraints against Jessica and Ryan. Forms heavy with cross lines. Alex, you're empowering others. I signed, reclaiming voice. A month later, under the glaring lights of Maricopa County Courtroom 5, I sat rigid on the witness stand, hands clasped, as my family shuffled in. Alex's presence steadied my pounding heart. Why did doubt creep in now? Whispering I was the destroyer. Jessica entered in her sharp and tailor suit. Bought post-theft. Whispering to Ryan. She'll cave. She always has. The words carried. Judge Ramirez's brow furrowed. Missing nothing. All rise. Folders rustled. Prosecutor Laura Diaz laid out evidence precisely. Your Honor. This was a calculated fraud against MS. Hayes. Mom's gasp pierced the air. I didn't look back. Their stares like daggers. But I focused ahead. Colton testified first, hands steadying the mic despite nerves. Yes. Group chats planned it, excluded her. No inclusion for MS. Hayes. Deliberately. Jessica's nails tapped wood, echoing like dripping faucets in my mind. Evidence mounted. Footage of her motel sneak. Bank sinks. Text projected. M skips checks at events. Plays perfect kid. She earns loads. Time to share. Do it pre-checkout. She showers post-breakfast. Jessica paled. Ryan tugged his tie. Ryan stood abruptly. Judge. We're tight-knit, we share. Ramirez's voice sliced. Sharing's mutual. This was larceny. Theft, raw. Unvarnished. No family excuses. Guilty pleas dropped. Ryan. Then Jessica. Voices tiny. Ramirez pondered sentencing. Silence thick as desert heat. Probation 2 years. Full payback $9,200 plus $4,000 damages. 3-year no contact. Pausing. Parents. Civil suits loom. Return funds swiftly. Gavel cracked. Mom flinched. Outside. Autumn winds swirled dust on steps. Mom approached. Hand out. We move forward now. Her tone. Once commanding. Now pleaded, but my heart ached with unresolved pain. Had I lost them forever? It wasn't cash, it was trust shattered. Dad neared. Face ashen. Aged overnight. I should have halted it.
Saw the late.
But it loosened a knot. Jessica stormed by. Ryan turned. You wrecked us. Raw fury. Laced with fear. Winds lifted my hair. Alex touched my back. No, you did. Valuing my account over me. Truth resonated. Doors thundering shut. The letter waited 3 days on my counter. From Aunt Carla in Albuquerque, Ryan's ex-aunt, barely known from gatherings. Coffee cooled as I opened it. Lavender scent evoking Grandma's letters. Dear Emily, I barely knew you pre-divorce, but your story reached me. Gave me guts, said no when my brother's kids wanted my home refinanced for their venture. Same lines. Blood means sacrifice. If you loved us. Watched you stand tall. Thanks, with respect. Carla. Tears blurred, counter cold under palms. Ripples. My therapist Dr. Elena said, nodding at the letter in her sunlit office. Healing spreads, one boundary inspires more. I sank into the chair. Fingers on armrests. Throat tight. Court was facts easy. But accepting they saw me as a mark.
Not kin?
That's soul deep. Clock ticked, she waited. Worst, I still wonder if I'm selfish. If giving all would have kept peace. Laughter escaped. Tremulous. You'd have vanished to please them. They programmed self-protection as greed, like bad data in my spreadsheets. Input wrong. Output flawed.
Clean it.
Get truth. 2 weeks later, at the Tucson Community Center, I faced 20 souls, clicking slides, family finance boundaries, safeguarding tomorrow. Questions poured, a gray-haired lady on her son draining her retirement, a man on siblings eyeing mom's ranch prematurely. Echoes of my pain, variations on exploitation. I shared helplines, red flags. Not enough, but a spark. A week on, at Lake Pleasant's sunset-gilded waters, Alex knelt, no ring, knowing me with a key. Bought the cabin up north. Remember dreaming of a fresh start, quiet spot to build real. Voice caught, let's craft family on respect. Key warmed my hand. Tears showed futures, teaching kids to hike. Holidays free of tabs. Where no stood firm. Yes, I breathed, then shouted. Colton hugged me next morning, grinning at the key. Speaking of, I took that job nearby. Email, acceptance. Wanna be close to true family. Tears pricked. I swatted him. When do you wise up? From you modeled it. 1 year later. November sun warmed our restored dining table. Barn sale find. Colton set cards. Neighbors the Garcias arranged succulents in jars. They ditched kids' holidays. Weary of being cash cows. Carla and her partner chatted with Alex by the fire. Bags in guest room. No fancy wear, just eclectic plates. Simple grub. Genuine chuckles. Memory hit. 12. Dad cashing my college jar for Jessica's whims. Family cares for family. Darlin'. It faded amid Colton's laugh. Alex's eyes met mine. Wordless promise. I joined them. Blood? Nah, shared values. Trust.
Love sans scorecard.
Turkey a tad dry. Beans lumpy. But each face valued me wholly. Finest banquet ever. But as laughter filled the room, a shadow lingered in my chest. Had I been too harsh? The legal hammer, necessary. Yet its severed ties that, flawed as they were, had shaped me. Jessica's last glare on those steps haunted. Was there room for mending? The lesson whispered. Boundaries protect. But forgiveness heals. Maybe one day. A tentative olive branch. For now, this table was my redemption. The weight of that courtroom victory sat heavy on my soul long after the gavel's echo faded. like a monsoon cloud lingering over the Sonoran desert. Every night,
Idelić tam staj na waka.
staring at the ceiling fan's lazy spin, questioning if justice had come at too high a cost. Alex would pull me close, whispering, "You did what you had to," but inside, turmoil raged. They were my blood, my first loves, my deepest wounds. How do you reconcile stealing from kin with the holidays we shared? The scraped knees Jessica bandaged. The stories Dad told under starlit skies? The humane part of me ached for understanding, for a path beyond revenge. Therapy with Dr. Elena became my anchor, her office a sanctuary where I unpacked the layers. It's not just theft, I confessed one session, voice cracking like dry earth. It's the why did they ever love me? Or was I always the golden goose? She leaned forward, eyes kind. Love twisted by entitlement isn't pure, but it doesn't erase the bond. You're grieving the family that never was. Grieving, yes. That's what clawed at me. A sorrow deeper than anger. The drama of betrayal had fueled my fight.
But now,
In quiet, I confronted the void. Who was I without their expectations defining me? Colton noticed during our weekly hikes in the Catalina Mountains, the trail dust kicking up memories. "You seem distant," he said, pausing by a cholla cactus. Regrets. I admitted the internal storm. Pushing charges felt right. But seeing Mom's face crumple. Maybe I could have talked first. He shook his head. They wouldn't listen, remember the texts? It took the law to make them see.
still,
Doubt gnawed. Was I vengeful? Or just? The lesson emerged slowly. Strength isn't destruction. It's setting limits with compassion. Hoping for growth. Aunt Carla's letter had sparked connections. More came via the community center. An email from a stranger. "Your stories saved my marriage, set boundaries within laws. It humanized my pain." Showing ripples of good. But family's silence amplified the ache. No calls. No apologies beyond Dad's courtroom whisper. Then, 6 months post-trial, a certified letter arrived from Jessica. My hands trembled opening it. Alex, watching warily.
ink,
I can't undo it. But probation's making me reflect. Therapy's hard, seeing how we justified hurting you. Kids ask why Aunt M's gone. Maybe someday.
saw the raw,
Imperfect, but a crack in the armor. I didn't respond immediately. Emotions surged like a flash flood. Anger. Relief.
pity,
In session.
Dr.
Elena probed. What do you feel? Betrayed still.
But human,
She's suffering too. The drama shifted inward. Could I forgive without forgetting? The legal clarity helped. Restitution checks arrived monthly. Small sums from their tightened belts. Mom sent one with a note. Paying back. As ordered. Miss you.
no manipulation,
Just quiet admission. It softened the edges. Reminding me laws protect. But hearts mend slower. Colton and I drove to Prescott one crisp fall day. Unannounced. My pulse thundering like hoofbeats in a western. The ranch house looked smaller. Garden overgrown, signs of strain. Mom answered, eyes widening, then filling. Emily. We sat on the porch. Coffee steaming. As I poured out the hurt, it wasn't money, it was feeling invisible. She nodded, tears tracking dust. We leaned too hard, thinking family meant entitlement. Lost sight of respect. Dad joined. Voice gruff. Proud you stood up, taught us.
no excuses,
Just ownership. Jessica called later. Heard you visited. Thanks for the bridge. The reconciliation wasn't cinematic, no tearful hugs. Just tentative steps. Thanksgiving that year included them. At our cabin. Rules clear. No asks. Just presence. Laughter mixed with awkward silences. But Colton's jokes bridged gaps. Jessica shared her therapy insights. Learned needs aren't rights. The lesson crystallized. Revenge burns out. Humanity rebuilds. As snow dusted the pines, I felt peace, boundaries held. But doors cracked for healing. Yet deeper turmoil stirred. Had my silence pre-trial enabled them? Self-blame whispered.
But Dr.
Elena reframed. You broke the cycle. That's heroic. The story's humanity lay in its messiness, flawed people learning late. Alex proposed a book. Anonymous Tales of Family Finance Woes. Proceeds to victims' funds. Writing it purged the drama, channeling pain into purpose. Reviews came. Eye-opening, saved my sanity. Ripples grew. A year on, at the cabin's fire pit, stars blazing overhead. Family gathered, old and new. Mom passed by, no strings. Jessica's kids played, innocent of past storms. Inside me, emotions swelled, gratitude for the fight, sorrow for lost time, hope for tomorrow. The light lesson? Boundaries aren't walls, they're gates, opening to better love when earned. The cabin's hearth crackled that winter evening, casting flickering shadows that danced like unresolved ghosts across the log walls. As I watched Mom help Colton carve the roast, a wave of profound sorrow washed over me, deeper than any before, laced with the raw ache of what we'd all lost. Jessica sat across, her eyes meeting mine briefly, holding a vulnerability I'd never seen. Ryan nodded quietly. No bravado left. The drama of our saga had peaked in court, but here, in this humble space, the true reckoning unfolded in silent glances and hesitant words. My heart throbbed with the weight. How many years had I carried their burdens as my own, only to realize love shouldn't demand sacrifice of self? Inside, monologues raged, forgive fully, or guard forever.
Dr.
Elena's words echoed. Healing isn't linear, it's human. That night, after others slept, I stepped onto the porch, cold air biting like truth. Stars pierced the sky, reminding me of childhood nights when family felt unbreakable. Tears came unbidden, for the girl who'd given endlessly, fearing rejection, for the woman who'd fought back, fearing isolation. The emotions swelled, a tidal force, regret for the rift, yet pride in the stand. Jessica joined me, blanket-wrapped. Can't sleep? Her voice, soft, carried remorse's tremor. Me neither.
Inc.
I see now we treated you like a safety net, not a sister. Therapy's peeling layers, hurts admitting I envied your independence. Her confession cracked something in me, tears mingled with hers. I envied your family life, I admitted. Voice breaking. But it came at my expense.
Vi tok till dawn.
Unpacking decades, her pressures as the golden child, my role as the provider.
No excuses.
Just understanding human flaws exposed. The ache intensified, but so did hope. This was redemption. Messy and real. Mom confessed over breakfast. Feared losing control, but losing you taught more. Dad's gruff hug. Sorry took so long. Emotions peaked. A cathartic storm. Spring brought deeper bonds. We volunteered at a financial literacy nonprofit in Phoenix, sharing stories anonymously. Jessica spoke first. I was the thief, learned entitlement poisons love. Listeners nodded. Tears flowing, our pain. Now salve for others. Inside, my turmoil evolved, from vengeful fire to empathetic glow. Alex and I married quietly by the lake, vows emphasizing respect. Colton stood best man, his growth mirroring mine. The family attended. No drama, just presence. But the deepest emotion hit during a summer storm, thunder rumbling like buried resentments. Alone in the cabin, I journaled. Why still this void? The answer surfaced. Forgiveness doesn't erase scars, it honors them. Calling Jessica. Voice trembling. Let's build new memories with equality. Her sob. I'd love that. Visits followed. Kids' laughter filling gaps. One evening, watching nephews play, Jessica whispered, "Thanks for second chance." Tears welled, profound joy amid sorrow. 2 years post-trial. Restitution complete. We gathered for a desert picnic.
No layers.
Just stories. Mom. Learned family thrives on mutual lift. Not lean. The light lesson bloomed. Betrayal breaks. But compassion rebuilds stronger. As sun set, painting canyons gold. My heart overflowed, emotions rawer than ever. Love's fragility. Resilience's power. We'd transformed drama into depth. Revenge into renewal. In that moment, surrounded by flawed, forgiven kin, I felt whole, humanity's triumph over hurt. The renewal deepened over months, each interaction layering emotion. A family therapy session in Tucson, raw, tear-streaked unveiled pains, Dad's own exploited youth shaping his blindness, Mom's fear of scarcity from Dust Bowl tales. Jessica's confession, postpartum amplified my grabs, felt inadequate. My turn, felt unloved and less giving. Sobs echoed. Catharsis, purging toxins. The ache, transcendental now. A profound empathy binding us. Holidays evolved. At the ranch, gifts were handmade, poems, drawings, valuing heart over wallet. Colton's grad celebration. We chipped equally.
No guilts.
Emotions surged during toasts, gratitude's warmth. Forgiveness's peace. Yet shadows lingered, a missed call triggering old flinches, but growth prevailed. 3 years on, I published Boundaries of Blood, proceeds aiding victims. Launch event, family front row. Applause thundering. Jessica's hug, proud sister. Tears cascaded, ultimate healing. The lesson, in drama's wake, humanity shines brightest through grace.